Here in this next article from Fox News, the Bieber tests positive for the coof. Las Vegas concert postponed. It remains to be seen if the outbreak will have an impact on the Bieber, a.k.a. Justin Bieber. Other upcoming tour dates among the Justice World Tour. I could personally give a shit less if the Bieber gets the coof. I'm glad you got the coof, Bieber. I like your music. I think it's actually pretty good. We used to make fun of this guy all the time. Because when I grew up, he was in that boy band. And like all the dudes that we're listening to were like the preppy kids who are like, the kind of like woke people nowadays that took over Hollywood and big media. So I don't like his fan base, but he actually is a pretty good musician, I'm going to have to say. I'm not dogging on his music. Here in this next article from Newsweek, Queen Elizabeth has caught the coof. It has become a political battlefield. Queen Elizabeth II's health sparked a debate over the lifting of the coof restrictions, with British Prime Minister Boris Johnson coming under fire. Look, the only thing that is going to reduce your risk of death from COVID is by losing weight. Now, I've had a lot of people tell me that I'm like promoting eugenics by saying that, you should be responsible for your own health. You need to lose weight. I don't need a vaccine because I have a 99.9% chance of survival. So if my chance of death goes from 0% down to 0%, you have not done anything to help me out. I am going to be way better off if I exercise and lose weight than if I get a vaccination for the coof that then eventually wanes off, might cause some heart problems, and then eventually I'm then reinfected by Omicron, and then I still have the same risk of death. But if I would have exercised and eaten healthily, lost weight, well, then my risk portfolio drops down significantly. This should have been the policy the entire time. I've been up here on RSS commentary trying to tell people this because when my project in engineering school for my AI, one of my AI classes was to model the human immune system for a genetic programming experiment. And when I did this experiment, I discovered there's different ways that the virus can kill you. It can replicate and take over all the cells. The white blood cells can kill the host by, like through some SARS response or some immune overreaction, or they can become symbiotic. They can become a hide and a seek, or the host can kill off all the cells with the viruses. And so these are the only scenarios that I know of, because there aren't a whole lot of different scenarios. There's also some production. It can produce some proteins, which can cause different reactions in the cells too. Those are very difficult because production of proteins is a very complicated thing. It has to be like you have to, create it almost for it, or it has to be like one in a lifetime mutation. But the reality is that SARS is caused by your genes causing your white blood cells to overreact to it. So if we used natural selection, then it would save more children in the future because we would no longer have that genetic problem. So I say it's supposed to be survival of the fittest. Whether or not what I just said is true, I don't know. You'd have to be psychic to know that. What I say, though, is, you should be in control of your health. You should go talk to your doctor. You should make a educated decision based on the risk profiles, all the data that you have available, professional consultation. And if you don't do that, it should be like, if you're dumb, then maybe natural selection should take you. But a lot of people said that was like eugenics, because you're like, well, you're trying to say we got to get rid of the fat people. No, You are the one that's responsible. Supposedly, this vaccine makes it so that your risk profile goes down to an acceptable level. So you're the one that's responsible to take it for yourself. By me taking the vaccine, the evidence shows that it doesn't stop it from transmitting because it mutates so much that even if you were infected, then 6 months down the line, now that natural infection has waned, you might, get 6 months of coverage with the vaccine. You might get 12 months worth of coverage for the natural one, but this is all based on different scenarios, what mutates, how like different proteins that it comes up, whether or not it mutated to be more deadly, less deadly, spread faster, spread slower. But regardless, it's never been at the point where it's actually been more deadly than the flu. It's just been more contagious than the flu. And because it's more contagious, you got more infections. Because there's more infections, there's more deaths. But people they don't understand this. All they heard from the CDC is you gotta wear a mask in order to stop COVID, and you gotta get a vaccine. And if you do this stuff, then you're gonna stop COVID. Like, no. You can't just put masks on people and make them get vaccines and then fire them from their job, destroy the economy, make it so that they lose their home, their job, their income, their control over their kids, all to like save old and fat people, because like 75+% of the people dying are fat people. And those people have a responsibility to the country to lose the weight so that there's not this huge pool of at-risk people, right? It's not my responsibility to get a vaccine and wear a mask because you're fat. If I put the mask on, it doesn't make you not fat. If you put the mask on, you look really stupid because you're fat and you got a mask on, okay? If I get the vaccine, that doesn't make you skinny. It doesn't. It doesn't make me not fat. It doesn't make me not stupid. It doesn't make me not have to talk to people and be around my kid. And I can't just stick a goddamn mask on the kid all day long when he's at school because he's a kid. He's vulnerable. These people just have complete reckless disregard for other people's lives. They want you to lock down. They want you to have one fewer less kid now because of COVID and the lockdowns and all the inflation. Also that we could save some fat old people who need to lose weight so that they can live longer. And if they did lose weight, they would live longer and they wouldn't die early, and then we wouldn't have all these problems. But instead, we got these jerk, asshole, stupid libtards who are completely against science. They say, oh no, just trust the science. I know the science. No, you get a vaccine, we can see the percent rates, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, so if I took the vaccine, then what is my percent chance of death going from? It's going from 0% to 0%. Okay, what the hell is the point? Oh, so you want me to get the vaccine just for somebody else? Right, you want me to have one fewer child so that a fat person can sit on his couch, his or her couch, or Z or Zer, or whatever the fuck goddamn gender you want this person to be, so they can just get fat and be on social media and watch TV and waste our resources getting free handouts from the government instead of like going to the gym, instead of saving the money and not having the Democrats blow it so you only get 7% of the stimulus, and then the rest goes to their crony and donor group so that they could get reelected by giving away these funds to these groups and then telling them that the white people are racist and they're trying to take away your welfare and your food stamps. You know, the pandemic's over when we say it's over. The other day, I went over to go return something to Amazon at Whole Foods Market, downtown Eugene, Oregon. I got some Karen come up to me. You know, I'm scanning the thing, getting ready to put the thing in a box, and then this woman comes up and she's like, "Hey, you need to wear a mask." I'm like, I thought the mask mandate was over here, and she's like, "No, it's still in effect." I'm like, "All right, well," you're like, I already had COVID. Like, I had COVID before. I'm not going to give you COVID. It's like, "No, I'm going to have to ask you to leave." I'm like, "Excuse me?" And she's like, get off my face, you psycho. And she's like, you gotta go. I'm like, no, you're fucking crazy. And then she went over to the employees. Sorry, I did not drop the F-bomb. I inserted that one. And she tried to get me kicked out, and the employees didn't do anything. And then I just returned my thing, and they apologized to me, and I left. And this is how it's going, because batshit crazy Karen, she's the manager. See, wherever she works at, you know, she's in control. She fires people, right? She gets rid of them. If you do not engage in the hive mind groupthink heterodoxy echo chamber, then she gets rid of you, and she has the power. She's already done it to multiple people. She's the one that enforces the mandates, bro. Like she's the butch woman with the got she they in her profile. She's wearing the pants in the family. She's a cat lady. She's a mama to a dog. She wonders why all the men don't want her anymore because she's got all the money. She put off having kids until her 30s so she could rise up the corporate ladder to get that man money so she could be the head of table. And now she's overweight. She's kind of a bitch. She is too tired to have sex when she gets home. She's always nagging on you about something you did wrong. And then she wonders why you're going after the hot mid-20s girl. Like, well, she's not a bitch. She likes it when I buy her stuff. She's not trying to pressure me. She actually wants to have sex at the end of the night when I come home. She doesn't have all this baggage. She's not fat. She can actually have a baby. And these women, they're going nuts, bro. Because, like, they're so used to just having everything. They think that, like, they're on top of the world. They're in the mid-30s. They've been sleeping around, riding the cock carousel for a decade now. They've had so many dicks rammed up their ass and jizzed on them that yours is little to them, right? And you ain't got nowhere near the money of her. She's on another level, bro. You're like a scrub, yo. And she can't see why you don't want to date her. It's like, you're a bitch.